Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Sincerely, it's Stephanie. I'm Steph, and today I have a DIY to share with you. We're going to be making pumpkins from pool noodles. Yes, pool noodles. And to make this pumpkin right here, you're going to need 3 pool noodles. This pumpkin stands 16 inches tall, including the stem. If you would like more pumpkins, you can go ahead and purchase more noodles. I purchased 10 noodles and I was able to make 4 of these pumpkins, and with the scraps I'm able to get 2 smaller pumpkins. So in total, out of 10 pool noodles, I got 6 pumpkins. So I think that's a pretty good deal. So the supplies that you're going to need, of course, are pool noodles. You're also going to need some mason jar lids, just the lids, some E6000 glue, some wooden skewers, some apple barrel paint, and this is the color pumpkin orange. You're going to need some lightweight spackle, some antiquing wax, some of the wired jute twine from the Dollar Tree, and this is the wired buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree. The first thing you are going to do is cut your pool noodles. You are going to need 6 12-inch pieces for the sides and 1 16-inch piece for the stem per pumpkin. I just used a bagel knife to cut my pool noodles and it worked perfectly. You can use a handsaw and miter box if you have one. Here you can see the scrap wood miter box my husband whipped up for me in less than 5 minutes because I didn't have one. This did make cutting the noodles easier because the measurements I needed were marked. Also, something I forgot to mention in the list of necessary supplies is orange and brown spray paint. You will need the spray paint to spray paint the stem and the mason jar lids. I spray paint my 16-inch stem piece brown. I then spray painted the mason jar lids 6 orange and 1 brown per pumpkin. So the next step after you have painted your mason jar lids and the stems to your pool noodles and they have dried, you're going to take your mason jar lids, you're going to glue them onto one end of the pool noodle. And I like to use a toothpick to assist me in spreading the E6000 glue out onto the mason jar lid. That way I don't have too much. It's not going to drip down the center here, this open hole, or the sides. And you're just going to place that on the top and you're going to let that dry. Okay, so once the mason jars are relatively stuck on the end of your pool noodles, you're going to take the brown noodle, which is your stem, and start with one of the orange noodles. And we're going to take the E6000 glue and we're just going to spread it on just like that. And we are going to line it up with the bottom. And we're going to take a skewer and stick it in. Now I'm going to break off my skewer at one end and push it through. and it's not sticking through the other end, so that's good. And I'm just gonna measure this off a little bit, and I'm gonna break it, because they're pretty easy to break. So I broke that. I'm gonna come up here to the top, and I'm going to stick it through. And I think I measured a little too, it's a little too long. So I'm going to just break it a little more, and I'm gonna stick it through. And once you have that piece, you're going to continue going around. So once your pumpkin has dried, you're going to wind up with something that looks like this on the top. And the sides are just going to look like plain orange pool noodles. So the next step in this process is we are going to use some lightweight spackle and some acrylic paint. Now, Dollar Tree also sells acrylic paint. You can try that if you would like, but this is what I have on hand. So I'm going to mix 50% and 50% of the spackle. So 50-50, 50 of the acrylic paint, 50 of the spackle. And I already have mine mixed up, so let's just get right on into painting it. So it should look something like this, kind of thick. And what this is going to do is it is going to kind of fill in those holes here and make it look a lot less like a pool noodle. So you're just going to paint and get in those grooves here. And I really like to get it into where, if there are any holes where you stuck the skewers. Because this is a 50% spackle mix, it'll help. Now by using this mixture, you can see how it starts to change the look of the noodles. And it really fills in those little that texture. Now that the pumpkin is mostly dry, I'm gonna start decorating the top of it, and I'm gonna be using this wired jute cord from the Dollar Tree, this buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I plucked off a leaf from a long stem sunflower that I had also purchased at the Dollar Tree, but I already had it on hand. I'm also going to be using this this foam brush. I'm just going to be using the end, the handle here, to wind this jute cord around to make it kind of curly. So I'm going to start off by taking this jute cord, and all I am going to do is I am going to pull it tight and twist it around once, and then I am going to take the handle to this foam brush, and I'm going to twist, and it's getting a little loose, and I'm going to pull that out just a little bit. So you see how I created a little curl here, and I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. I'm just going to twirl it around. And then I'm going to pull it out. And it looks like I need to tighten this a little. So I'm going to tighten this up. I'm going to twirl it around one more time. And then I am going to tie this ribbon on. And I'm going to put it right underneath this jute cord. Okay, and so I'm going to fluff out the bow, and I'm going to kind of lay this down a little bit under here. It kind of looks something like that. And then I am just going to place this, I'm going to tuck it in behind here. I didn't even glue mine on. You can glue it on if you would like to, but you have to be really careful with using hot glue on the pool noodles. I would recommend that you use some E6000. So I'm just going to kind of tuck this in. And it stays pretty well. So it'll look something like that. Okay, so now once your pumpkin is completely dry, I am going to use some of the Waverly antiquing wax, and I'm going to dry brush that on to my pumpkin. So I'm just going to tap that, and I'm just going to kind of get rid of the excess on this, and I'm going to start by just, I like to focus kind of on the inside to create those lines. Once you have finished dry brushing your pumpkin, it should look something like this. And now your pumpkin's complete. Feel free to make your pumpkins whatever size that you want. This is just the size that I preferred. As you can see, this is the beginning of some of the smaller pumpkins that I have made from the scraps. So I haven't finished this one yet. It's still drying. But this is one of the short pumpkins. And like I said, you can make them whatever size you want. You can embellish them to go with your home decor style. But I just really thought these turned out super cute.
If you enjoyed this DIY, it is the first of many. Be sure to subscribe, please hit that like button, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified the next time I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!